Super Mario 64, the game that defined 3D platformers. Released back in 1996, it was groundbreaking at the time and is still one of the most beloved Mario adventures today. But what if this classic had something modern? Like achievements, the kind you know from PlayStation or Xbox? Well, that's where Retro Achievements comes in. It adds over 100 challenges to your favorite retro games, including Super Mario 64. Some are simple, others are completely ridiculous. Like, who would have guessed the most difficult thing in the entire game is punching butterflies? You'll see what I mean later. So I made it my mission to unlock every single achievement in Super Mario 64. By the way, I'm Wywait, and if you enjoy retro gaming and wild challenges like this, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next adventure. We quite literally jump into the game, and then we have a little small talk with our very own camera person.
Mario, looking out for the small guys. I like it.
After entering the castle, there's actually not much we can do other than entering our first level, Bob-omb Battlefield. Here, the first thing the game wants us to do is climb the mountain to fight King Bob-omb. But we're not about that life. We take the first thing that's available, and that is freeing the chain chomp and collecting our first star, which also gets us our first achievement. Now let's enter the level again, and this time we actually do want to climb the mountain. Here we have an achievement to reach the top without pressing the A button, which means we can't jump. This shouldn't be too hard, right? It's the first level. So we just go up here, then we greet our old buddy chain chomp. Didn't we just free you? Anyway, onto the seesaw and oh. So we somehow have to get from the seesaw to the ledge. Luckily we can just run at it and Mario will grab it and we can pull ourselves up. Then a bit further up ahead the mountain there is this gap. The best way to cross this is to leap forward and then use the rollout move to cross the ledge. Now it's just another short hike and there's our next achievement. It's boss fight time. We just grab and throw King Bob-omb 3 times and he's defeated. And because we did so without taking damage, we get another achievement, Bob-omb Blaster. Now let's first talk to Kirby over here to unlock a cannon. Opening all the cannons also will get us another achievement, but more on that later. Our next task is to race Koopa the Quick in under 34 seconds. So let's go the totally normal way up here. Then we stand inside here, which is not cheating, I swear. Then take another left. And we did it. Easy peasy. For this next star you normally use the wing cap, but we don't have that yet, so we have to do a few more shots to get all the coins in those rings. It's not the easiest thing to do, especially because of all the backtracking, but with a whole lot of perseverance, it's pretty doable. And it gets us another achievement. Nice. The last thing we have to do in this level for now is collect all the red coins without taking damage, which is not that difficult luckily. Just run around, get some coins, no big deal. And the last two are right over here. Oh my god, that was Okay, calm down, we got it, just collect the star. No idea how I survived that, but we take it. Princess Peach's slide is actually one of my favorite little mini levels in this game. And did you know there's actually a button over here which spawns some blue coins? Well, we have to press it because there's an achievement for collecting all 80 coins on this slide. And missing those blue coins is actually the only way to fail this. I mean, you wouldn't just slide past one of the coins, right? You didn't see that. Wait, I got it. And there we have it. After collecting the 8th star, the game tells us that we are finally ready to fight Bowser the first time. So actually, let's just do that. And for defeating him without taking damage, we get another achievement. Next up, we unlock the wing cap with this here red button, and then we finish up Bob-omb Battlefield. So there is an achievement to get up on this island without taking the cannons, and I'm sure there's easier ways to do that, but the easiest way I found is just to take the wing cap down here, run up the mountain for a bit, and fly over the gap. Then collecting the star gives us the achievement. Now all that's left to do in here is take the second random warp to get an achievement for using all warps, and finally we get us the achievement for completing the first course. Back in Coco Mountain, we have to get another star in an unconventional way, which is this one down here without touching the lower platforms. Again, there are probably multiple ways to do this, but the easiest way is just to use the spinny flying guy and fly away down here. Then, like before, collect all the red coins without taking damage, get the warp on the way, and finish up the course for another 3 easy achievements. In Worm's Fortress, we get this star the only way I know how to. We take the warp and stomp on this tall dude for a bit without taking damage. Now for something more interesting. Getting into the owl cage without taking the owl. And I think the cannon is just the right tool for that. Just aim a little higher. And yep, that works. Again, red coins without taking damage, making sure not to take fall damage here, oh my god. And finishing up the level for the last achievement. Bye Mario. For this star in Jolly Roger Bay, you either have to get the medal cap or you don't suck at gaming, only one of which will get you an achievement. And then, after getting 30 stars, the game tells us we are ready to rematch Bowser. But let me tell you, we are not ready yet. Because what I didn't tell you is that there are actually something called missable achievements. Which just means if you progress the game to a certain point without getting these achievements, you are permanently locked out of them unless you start a new game. For Super Mario 64, there's only one of those. And if you progress now to defeat Bowser, then we can't get this anymore. So before we tackle that, let's do another thing here in Jolly Roger Bay. And that is getting the star in the box on the ledge without using the cannon. This is actually pretty tricky. You have to get on the ship and do some weird long jumps and then wall kick from the wall onto the ledge. I think that will take some time. What I found help is aiming for this spot right here under the platform and then praying that you actually get the jump. We got it! Thank God. That took forever, let me tell you. This actually gives us 2 achievements, one for finishing the course and one for doing the challenge. But now I think we can't avoid it any longer. Let's unlock the door to the basement and get that missable achievement. So for this one we have to get the red coin star in Dire Docks before the subway moves away. Normally one of the first things you do in this level is get this star up on the submarine, which then causes the submarine to disappear forever on your save file. Instead, these moving poles appear, which you use to collect the 8 red coins. But for this achievement, we can't use those. And where the submarine is here, they do not even spawn in. So we have to get a bit creative with our jumping right here. The first few red coins are not really that big of a deal, just a couple big jumps. The first tricky one is this one on the other side of these red grates. I'm not even sure what I'm doing wrong here. Maybe I'm too close to the red grates? Ah yes, jumping a bit further out does the trick. Now for the trickiest one, all the way back there in this corner. For this one we have to do 2 tricky jumps back to back. The first one, we have to jump mid-slide from the submarine and do a wall kick on this tiny platform, hold back and get Mario to grab the platform. This in and of itself is tricky enough, but now we have to do a long jump to the other side. You have to pretty much jump from the last pixels, otherwise you won't make it. If you miss any of these jumps, you have to swim around, get back on the submarine and try again. But we did it. Thank God, I was dreading this one so much. To celebrate, let's kick some Bowser butt. No achievement quite yet because I took some damage, but now we have access to almost the whole castle. Let's continue the basement for now. Also, I've decided for now to just go through the game without focusing on getting every achievement for every level, just getting what I get on the way, and then clean up all the missing ones afterwards. Which means this is now officially... In Lethal Lavaland we can take the warp under this weird eye for one easy achievement. And then the only other one right now is for completing the whole course. In Big Boo's Haunt, we first skip education by avoiding the library. And then as always, collect red coins, take no damage, you know the drill. Remember, fall damage is also damage. Before we can get the last star in Big Boo's Haunt, we have to unlock the Vanish Cap. So we drain the mode, press the Big Blue button, and also collect this star, which means we are now at 50 stars and unlock the rest of the castle. Now let's use this freshly unlocked cap to complete Big Boo's Haunt. In Dire Docks, we have the stream situation again, which is a tad harder, but eventually we get it, and then complete the course. Through Hazy Maze Cave, we get into the Medal Cap stage, where we unlock said cap, and then I actually do know that there is an achievement for collecting all red coins, while only using the Medal Cap you get when entering the stage. So no problem, we just grab all the coins down here with that cap, and all the others we can grab without. And then we just jump into the star to collect it. I said we jump into the star to collect it? Thank you? Game, please. In Hazy Maze Cave, we take the shortcut up here to get the star and another achievement. And then just complete the course for another one. While doing Shifting Sandland, I actually wanted to get 2 achievements at once, but I missed the jump up here, so we only get the achievement here that we are ready for the final Mauser match. And we get back in to jump directly from the platform to the star and get another one. Then all that's left here is doing the boss, where we get an achievement for beating it without taking damage, the obligatory get our red coins without taking damage, and completing the course. Which means we are done in the basement for now, so let's unlock the door upstairs. Before we tackle any other stages, let's take out the final Bowser. Why not? For this, we get the achievement for beating the game. But we are not done yet. We've got so much more courses to do. In Wet Dry World, we get an achievement for taking the warp, and another one for starting the level with all possible water states. For this one I wasn't actually trying, but I got it, which is nice. Somehow there's no red coin challenge in here, so the only other one we get for now is for completing the stage. Next up in Tortoise Mountain, we get the slide star without actually doing the slide. And then we get randomly grabbed by this Chakya and mash our way out of it, which is another achievement. Also, another star I have never gotten any other way. I think you're supposed to use the cannon, but nah. And then for the final star, we do actually have to use the slide because there's a lot of coins on it. And I think you can't actually get the coin star without it. In Snowman's Land, the red coin challenge is back, so we get all the red coins without taking damage, and we collect all the stars to finish the level. Tiny Huge Island has this neat little warp for us, and another red coin challenge. The last thing is getting the coin star, but I know a guy who has some change left over if you put him under pressure, if you know what I mean. So we make quick work of this one too. All the way at the top of the castle, we get an achievement for collecting all the castle's secret stars. And we go through and finish up TikTok Clock, where you can bet your ass that I won't be doing it any other way than having it stopped for the whole time. Finally, in Rainbow Ride, we unlock our last cannon, take a warp, and complete the course, which also gets us another achievement for getting all the stars in the game. The last thing we canonically have to do before we can go and finish up the rest of the achievements is get on the roof of the castle and talk to Yoshi. Okay, but now, time for... I took a look at the list of the achievements and there actually was one for doing all of Mario's moves. I do not know which one I missed, so let's just do some of them and see which one is missing. Let's just do all of them just to be sure. Oh, look how shiny our triple jump is now. Okay, turns out it was this breakdance move. What is this even used for? Anyways, for the cleanup we start in Kulku Mountain. We have to race the big penguin again, because he has some new dialogue when you get all the stars about him being out of shape. So after we clown on his fat ass, we get another achievement. Since we're in a sliding mood now, let's be fast on Princess Peach's slide. We have to get a time under 17 seconds to get another achievement. Back in Big Boo's Haunt, there is another achievement for beating the 2 Big Boos without taking damage. Don't mind me already having damage, this does not count. But that also means we have to beat all the little boos, so the first big boo even spawns. This room right here was a little bit tricky. Then we just have to lure them out, kill the tiny ones, spawn the big one, kick his butt, go upstairs and outside, and kick the other one's butt too. Shifting Sandland wants us to take this tiny box, which you can get right here at the start, and bring it all the way to the top of the pyramid. My first attempt was actually really lucky. I have no idea how the box did not get crushed here. Then we made our way up the pyramid, tried to avoid the fly guy and his fire. Save it by jumping up here, actually losing the box, but we were able to get it again. Only to then lose it right here. But nothing another attempt can fix. So we make our way all the way to the top, collect the star with box in hand, and get the achievement. Back in Lethal Lava Land, we actually have a few challenges that we need to do. First up, another one where we can't press A and can take damage to collect all the red coins. Which means stuff like this is a no-go. So we place our thumb firmly on the B button and parkour our way over to the sliding puzzle and collect all red coins and the star without jumping once. Next up, we have to defeat both the big bullies, again without taking damage and without getting pushed. To avoid taking damage on the way, I decided to take the wing cap. And taking out the first big bully is actually really easy. But for the second one, we first have to take out all the small bullies. So really careful, only ever triggering one at a time. This last one didn't quite want to go to the ledge, so we had to resort to kicking him in the face. This spawned the last big bully, and taking him out gets us the achievement. Last, but probably the hardest, collect 90 coins while riding the Koopa shell. What's tricky about this is there aren't really many more than 90 coins in this level, and we can't enter the volcano for obvious reasons. So we have to get pretty much every coin there is, which includes the blue coin from this moving eye. This coin tends to fall into the hole after you beat the enemy, so you pretty much have to catch it right out of the air, otherwise you fall into the hole, bonk, and you have to start over. Afterwards, it's just trying to be really careful not to bonk any walls, defeat some enemies, and get the achievement. Like we did for the first Bowser fight, we still have to defeat Bowser without taking damage for a flawless victory. Remember the challenge earlier we did in Dire Dire Docks? Getting the red coins without using the pole? Now we have to kinda do the opposite. Last time we had to avoid the subway star to collect all the red coins without using the poles, and this time we have to use the poles to collect the subway star. What makes this tricky is you can only do this on your second run through, which means the star isn't yellow but this shadowy kind of thing, so it's really hard to see. And every time you jump in the water, you have to run all the way around. So what else is new?
There's just so much Swimming.
After getting 2 more or less useless warps in Tortoise Mountain and Snowman Land, we kick this guy in the face a few times to get another no damage achievement. And then we are back to collecting coins on the Koopa Shell. This time it's 75 of them, and again, there's not really much more than that in this level. Again, no sub areas, so you can't enter the igloo. And we even have to go around things again. Kinda deja vu, huh? Except the snowmans actually respawn, and they do so pretty quickly, so you have to be really careful not to run into them after defeating them while collecting the coins. Also, whenever you do fail, it's kind of a pain in the butt to die in this level, because you probably defeated most of the enemies by now. Jumping on the shell actually helps to go much more slowly, so you can really take your time with this. Okay, and the last few coins up here. And we made it. I'm pretty sure there weren't actually any other coins in this level. Getting on this island in Tiny Huge Island is our next objective. You can't really see it from the cannon, but there is a pole in the center of it, which you can use to cushion our fall and actually land on this tiny damn thing. Takes a few shots, but then we make it. Read the sign and get our achievement. Defeat Wiggler without taking damage. Let's go. Oh my god. Let's make sure not to get jumped on by him. Yeah, take that. Koopa wants to race us again, this time in under 20 seconds, which is not as easy as before, so we have to take every shortcut we can get. And barely made it. Second to last level, we have to access TikTok clock with all possible time states. So we enter the level whenever the hand of the clock is either on 12, 3, 6 or 9. Speaking of which, entering the level when the hand is at 9 makes everything move the fastest. In this exact state, we have to collect all the red coins. I guess let's create our own little game of Mario Pachinko and try to get them from the top by falling into them. This works surprisingly well actually. And that's the last one, nice! I forgot the star spawns up there too. Let me actually try something here. If I time this just right. Nice and jump! If that wasn't smooth, I don't know what is. In Rainbow Road we have to get to the ship thingy without using any carpets, which means we have to get a bit creative with our jumping. And I mean, you know what falling does in this stage, right? Once we're on top of this box though, we can make our way to the poles and use those to climb up. We just jump from box to box and do one scary side flip, and we're on top. And finally, back at the end of the game, we just defeat Bowser one more time to get an achievement for doing so while owning all 120 stars, and our last flawless victory achievement. So that's it, right? We've collected everything there is in Super Mario 64 and even did some crazy challenges. There couldn't possibly be more to collect, right? Well, yeah. We have to collect every single 1-up there is in the game. For every level in the game, we have to collect all 1-ups in it in a single attempt. Which means you die, you go back to the start, baby, and collect them all over again. And let me tell you, Nintendo got really creative with where they hit some of those. But you'll see. For now, let's finally talk butterflies. You may or may not have seen some sets of pink butterflies around the game in some parts. In some cases, these butterflies can drop a 1-up. Those kinds always spawn in a group of 3, and only one of them will drop it if you kick him. Sounds pretty easy, right? Wrong, because the other 2 will drop bombs. Those butterflies do not have collision. Neither for your punches, nor for the walls. So you don't know if you've hit them, and they can just fly into the wall and disappear forever. Which means you have to attempt the level all over again. Also, if you hit the wrong butterfly, it will spawn a bomb, which will push you away and make it even harder to hit the right one. Also, you have no way of knowing which one is the right one, so you just have to get lucky. Furthermore, these sets of butterflies only spawn in when you run over them. So if you can see a set of butterflies from afar, it's the wrong set, always. So it's pretty random if you can actually manage to get a 1-up from them or not. What that means becomes pretty clear when we try to collect all the 1-ups outside of the castle. Because here there's actually 2 sets of butterflies that drop 1-ups. So if you manage to get the first butterfly out of the first set, but fail the second one, well, you have to start over and also get the first one again. One of these sets is on the grass on the left side of the castle, and the other one on the right side. And after a few missed attempts, we are able to secure both of those, get the one under the bridge, where you have to collect both the coins, one from inside one of the trees, and the 3 lives on top of the castle where Yoshi is, and get the achievement. And to finish up the hub world, there are actually 2 1-ups inside the castle. One of them is in the other nook where Jolly Roger Bay is, And for the other one, you have to get down here where the water was and run into all 4 corners, which will then spawn the 1-up. I mean, how were you supposed to know that as a kid without the internet? Anyway, let's get right into the courses. Okay, so originally I was going to show you every single 1-up, but this video is getting kinda long already and most of these are pretty boring, so I'm just gonna show you the interesting ones. If you wanna see all 1-ups, let me know in the comments below and I'll make another video where I go over all of them. With that out of the way, let's continue. In Worm's Fortress, we have another set of butterflies. Thankfully, it's only one this time, and it's right around this corner when you step into these flowers. So I'd recommend get these first, because if you fail, well... But after a bit of trying, it should be no problem. This one that spawns on the moving platform can be a bit tricky because it runs away from you and can disappear quite fast, so you have to be careful of that. And did you know there's a 1-up in this tower? Just punch the walls a few times and you will find it. In the slide in Cocoa Mountain, there is 2 1-ups, but you can only get one of them. This second one right here, yeah, you can't get that. It moves out of your way every single time. So you can't get it, and thankfully you don't have to for this achievement. Down in Hazy Maze Cave, there are 2 sets of Monty molds, where you will get a 1-up if you defeat enough of them. Here this first set has 2 molds, and the second set has only 1, but it works both the same. Just jump on them until the 1-up spawns. In Lethal Lava Land, you again have to use the Koopa Shell to collect all the 1-ups. The trickiest one is this one where you have to run around this fire-breathing tome thing, because the 1-up spawns and runs away from you, can glitch through the floor and jump into the lava, so you will die when you try to get it. And getting it can be really tricky without dying, but with enough tries, I was able to catch it. In Bowser and the Fire Sea, there is a 1-up on this moving platform, where you have to stand right here at the end when it's all the way at the bottom and just ride it all the way to the top, and at some point the 1-up will spawn. It's another one of those that will run away from you, so make sure not to jump over it, because then it will probably fall down. In Snowman's Land, you can use the cannon to shoot yourself up to this tree. You just have to make sure not to accidentally collect the star. Just get into the tree, let the 1-up spawn, and jump into it, and not into this.
It just keeps happening.
There is a 1-up that will spawn at the slide in Turtle Mountain when you touch the 4 corners in the starting room. Also, there's another sneaky one right around the corner. Also, Turtle Mountain begins the return of the butterflies. Again, only 1 set, but it's all the way at the top of the mountain, so you will probably have already collected some other ones, and if you fail to get this one, well, do it all again, I guess. Also, Monty Molds. Tiny huge island. I already dislike this level, but for this challenge it's especially bad. It has not 1, not 2, but 3 sets of butterflies. Each of them can fly into the wall, you hit the wrong ones, or you just die any other way. And you have to start all over again. So 3 times kinda RNG if you can make the challenge. This means you probably want to start with those, because collecting any other ones if you haven't gotten these 3 doesn't really make much sense. But then, you've got all of them. You just have to collect the other ones and be careful not to... Or you have all 3 and then this kind of thing happens. Yeah, this one basically had me lose my mind. You have to be so careful with this level in general, and then having 3 RNG dependent 1-ups in it just doesn't make for a good time. This was actually the hardest achievement in the whole set for me. But after trying and trying again, I actually got pretty good at chasing the butterflies. So eventually, I managed to get it. I wouldn't even say I was proud when I did it, I was just relieved. And that's basically it. All that's left is 1 final victory lap through the last Bowser stage. And there it is, the mastery for Super Mario 64. And I have to say, it's actually a really enjoyable set. You get to learn some speedrun techniques, you discover all this game has to offer, even though some achievements are a bit annoying to do. Even if you're not going for the mastery, I would really recommend you check this one out. Thank you so much for watching this video, give it a like if you enjoyed it, and let me know down in the comments what other retro game I should master. See you in the next video.